Today we will be doing both a self-assessment and a reflection for your landscape paintings. For today you'll need to have your painting and your self-assessment sheet and your self-reflection. We're going to start with the self-assessment. Make sure that you can see your landscape painting and start by writing your name. Then we'll go through each question and each goal. Goal 1 says, I can use materials responsibly in a variety of techniques. This basically means, did you use the watercolors correctly? Did you make sure that your brush was not too dry or too wet? And were you safe with the materials? Did you not throw them or not clean them up? As long as you did all of those things, and you can also check your painting to make sure that it reflects that, then you can go through and choose which one to circle. If you were very unsafe and irresponsible, give yourself a thumbs down. If you think you did okay, but you could do better, a thumb sideways. If you did it, thumbs up. If you did a really good job, if you're really proud of what you did, and you think that you worked really hard to really responsibly use those materials, give yourself 2 thumbs up. I chose to give myself 2 thumbs up for this one. Now my second goal is I can create depth in artwork through overlapping, placements, and size. This is the big one that we've been talking about this whole time. So if you only did one of them, give yourself a thumb sideways. If you did 2, a thumbs up. And a 3, 2 thumbs up. So let's see how many of them I have. I have overlapping here. I have size here with a small tree in the background and a big tree in the front. And I have placement, where I've put things closer down at the bottom. So because I had 3, I circled 2 thumbs up. Your third goal is I can reflect upon my artwork. That's our self-reflection that we're going to do, so skip that part for now. Your fourth goal is I can demonstrate perseverance by working through challenges in a multi-step process, which basically means, did you fix your mistakes? Did you figure out a way to turn them into beautiful oopses, or just to overcome any difficulties or frustrations, or did you give up? I gave myself 2 thumbs up because I had a really hard time with some of the bleeding, but I kept going. Now it's time to start our reflection. So again, put your name at the top. And then we'll go on to the first question. Which methods did you use to show depth? All 3 of them are listed down at the bottom of the paper, overlapping, placement, and size, just in case you forget. Once you've looked at your picture and decided, I want you to write using full sentences. So I wrote, I used overlapping, placement, and size. This second question is where your answers are going to get pretty long. For each way that you show depth, I want you to describe how you did it. So I'm starting with overlapping and writing my tree and plants overlap with the things behind them. Then for placement, I wrote, I put things closest to me, like the plant and the tree, at the bottom of the and here I ran out of room, so I'm going to flip my paper over and continue. Page, and things that are far away, like the house and mountain, at the top. And then I went on to size. I made the plant and tree really big, and the house, mountain, and tree by the house really small. So I used full sentences here to explain each way that I showed depth, and because I used all 3, I needed to make sure that I explained overlapping, placement, and size, and how I showed them in my picture. The last question is, if we were to do this project again, what would you do differently? And this doesn't have to mean something that you don't like or that you didn't do a really good job. Anytime you do art, there's always something you might do differently, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything good or bad. So for mine, I would put more leaves on my tree, and I would put more in the middle ground so that it's more interesting to look at. When I looked at my painting, I realized I kind of left that area empty, and if I did it again, I would want it to be more busy and more interesting. Once you're done, check over your answers, make sure they're full sentences, and make sure that you've said everything that you want to say. Now it's time to go back to goal 3 on your self-assessment. I can reflect upon my artwork. Now, think about how you did in your self-reflection. As long as you had it, you can give yourself at least a thumb sideways. If you answered it, you can give yourself a thumbs up. If you think you went above and beyond, maybe you answered more than just the questions that are on there, like maybe writing in some of the blank space on the bottom or the back and added more, then you can give yourself 2 thumbs up. But don't worry if you only get 1 thumb up here. When you're all done, take your reflection sheets and your painting and walk them over to the red basket. Before you turn them in, double check that you have your name written on both pages. Then turn them in, as well as your painting, and you can choose a blank piece of paper to draw or read if you have extra time.